All right, my first guest starred in The Adventures of Buckaroo Banzai and Shoot the Moon, but he's known probably best for his role as the cyborg with a heart in RoboCop 1 and 2. Here's the star of Naked Lunch, Peter Weller. Peter. How are you, Pete?
Good.
Beautiful.
Yeah, good.
The Foo?
The Foo?
For a part, or just feeling...
No, it's for a gig. It's called Sunset Grill. New line. Started in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, so Naked Lunch, man. That must have been a thrill for you, somebody of your era, to...
Yeah. It was a gas, you know. I don't know if you're familiar with the... Yeah. The book was a big breakthrough, you know, in the history of literature in this country and around the world. You know, he broke the form of the novel, and he was writing about addiction, and he was writing about power and strange things before his time. And it's kind of like a social Bible to me, that book. And when I heard they were going to make a movie out of it, coincidentally, I was on the set of RoboCop 2, and I heard they were going to make a movie about it. I wrote him a letter and said I want to be in it.
You wrote Burroughs or Cronenberg?
Cronenberg.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then...
Can I move this?
Yeah, sure. Oh, not there. Okay. We got it. No, geez. See, now there's a polite one. We got to get this chair together. This chair is like one of those props on a Naked Lunch.
Saul was out here the other night, you know, and he just kind of swung it this way.
Yeah. I don't know what... We got to pull this whole thing together, though. I get the feeling it's very much like a visit to the gynecologist or something, you know? Everybody's always kind of... Tough for me to get serious about a man's film when he's in stirrups. Now, Cronenberg and Burroughs together. Now, there's a wacky creative duo there. Was Burroughs on the set much? Or, of course, by Burroughs we mean Edgar Rice Burroughs, the author of Tarzan. Or no?
Yeah, he was swinging around the set a lot, you know.
Now, who's more out there, Burroughs or Cronenberg?
Cronenberg's really a stay-at-home kind of Toronto middle-class, races his cars and, you know, talks to his wife and kids kind of guy. Burroughs, on the other hand, is from Mars. But he's one of the drollest, funniest, most interesting human beings I've ever met. He's 80 years old, and he's the granddaddy of substance abuse, and he's survived all of it. Survived everybody else, and everybody else is dead or gone to jail, and this guy's still kicking, man.
How is, it's funny when you meet some of these people who have spent all these years abusing themselves in their mind, they often seem
more lucid than us.
Yeah, it's weird. I met Timothy Leary one night at a party, and I remember thinking, I go to like 5 parties a year, so don't think I was at some freak out with Peter Fonda, you know, dropping mescaline and running around naked under a shower. But anyway, I did meet, and it was weird. At the beginning, I was all prepared to dislike him because I just thought he was so whacked, and I think he might have led some people down the road and they got hurt. Yeah. But he was such a charming guy. It was kind of weird. Was it like that when you met Burroughs?
Yeah, he's a real middle-class cat. You know, he went to Harvard and he went to prep school, and I think he's a guy, actually, admittedly, that always, as much as he's a part of the counterculture, he always wanted to belong. He always felt himself an outsider, not by choice, but by measure. So.
Well, his whole life was pretty much decided by the incident with his wife. Yeah. I mean, do you guys know what happened there? Tell us, Uncle Denny. Well, you tell, Pete.
Yeah, he accidentally killed his wife, and they were, and it was sad. You know, it was an event that he, probably will never get over, and it subsequently made him a writer. But
it was the weirdest circumstances, wasn't it? They were playing William Tell. Yeah. And they used to get drunk and put apples on each other's heads and try to...
Actually, they'd never done it before. He said at that party, I guess it's about time for our William Tell routine. And she said, sure, Bill, put a glass on her head, and he tried to shoot it off and killed her.
Wow, it's bad for a relationship. And from then on, it's just been it's marked his whole life, obviously.
Yeah, it has. And something, not that I have to say anything in his defense, but something that's really a gift of his is that his entire experience with abuse, with substance abuse, has really been turned into a statement of social reformation and consciousness and great satire and hypocrisies of the way the planet works. He's really turned it into something magnificent, sad as it is.
Right. So you like? Well, so I guess something coming from such an odd happening as that has led to an artistic life in some perverse way. Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
That something like that dark would lead him to this?
Listen, you know, you brought up, can I bring up the Olympics?
We can right after this. We got to take a commercial. We'll be right back. We're going to talk Olympics through Burroughs with Peter Weller. We'll be right back. Welcome back.
Man, he is something.
Andy Walken. Now you wanted to talk about the Winter Olympics for a second?
You know, you brought up the Olympics, and I saw your special the other night, the black and white special you did on HBO.
Right.
Just coincidentally, it was on about 2 nights ago, and I just wanted to ask you what. Speaking of the Olympics, you had a metaphor in there, hands on the bobsled. Remember this line?
Oh, right. It was,
what does that refer to?
It's going to be tough to bring up on regular TV. Well,
You get that image, hands on the bobsled? It kind of escapes me. But,
It was a sexual reference where men like to be in control sexually. They like to have...
I get it now.
Jeez. Boy, you led me into a box canyon there. It's a good joke, but you should see it on cable. Kids, don't try stuff like this at home. Now, did Burroughs help you, back to that for a second, did Burroughs help you with your characterization, or is he, was he that hands-on, or was he kind of aloof to the project?
No, he was so excited that it was finally going to be made. I've been trying to make it for so long, and he was really accessible to me. I spent a bunch of nights with him having dinner before I made it. Coincidentally, we met through a guy named Earl McGrath, who owns an art gallery here. He's a friend of Burroughs, and I just grabbed things from him more or less by osmosis, because the part is not autobiographical, although it takes from his life. It's more or less his alter ego. So I didn't want to do this Burroughsian sort of number, but at the same time, there's things about his, he's acerbic, and he's so droll, and he's so incisive, you know, and I was taking things like that from him, and I was writing him a lot, and then he finally showed up on the set, and we hung out and had some laughs, and I just spent a couple days with him in Kansas.
Boy, I love the word Burroughsian.
Yeah, that's kind of my...
I hadn't heard that one. Cool word, huh? I'm going to have to throw that around somewhere. Well, we have a Burroughsific clip here, and any setup on this clip, or do you know what this is about? Setting up a clip from The Naked Lunch. There's a surreal experience.
My wife, played by this brilliant, maybe the most brilliant actor I've ever known, or actress, Judy Davis, is addicted to a substance. And I get busted for being in possession of this.
The bug
substance.
powder.
Yeah, bug powder.
All right, this from The Naked Lunch. Bug powder. Take one. Roll it.
You got quite a record, Bill. A lot of drugs poured down the old vein.
I was a troubled person then. I'm married now, straight. Got a good job.
That's good, Bill. It's nice. What's this then?
My job. I use it to kill bugs.
Says it kills bugs. He could be right. I'd like to see it. Me too. I'd like to see it too.
Well, gee. I'd like to demonstrate, but I already got rid of that last case of crabs I had.
I haven't seen that much bug powder since Scarface. This was the last time. Now, what's up, RoboCop 3? You took a pass on here?
I did in lieu of this film and another film coming out for Canon called 50/50, a comedy with Bob Hayes, and some other things I wanted to do, and Orion and RoboCop was very good to me, and I was flattered that they offered me RoboCop 3, but it's time for me to move on.
Well, how did you know what effect, the effect I always loved in there is when the back of his head came off, and I never figured that was seamless. I mean, obviously you're not supposed to figure, but...
I got to give a plug to this guy, Rob Bottin, who designed that suit, and he also designed that incredible face, and usually prosthetics are done from the seamed in the back, and he had to build that thing straight out, and all the seams are right down the side of my face, and you cannot see anything on camera.
Oh, that's how they did it. Yeah, because I used to sit there
genius,
and think.
I think. And,
Rob Bodine. Yeah. Now, who's going to play it in 3? Has somebody been picked, or are they shooting it? I haven't heard.
I don't know. I know they shot it, and a young man I heard was very good did it, and for the life of me, in all deference to him, I don't know his name, but Moni Yakin, the professor of movement at Juilliard who taught me all the mime, taught him too, so I'm sure it'll be good.
Now, who do you hang out with some pretty intense guys, I understand, just from your old days in New York.
New York, yeah.
I love the thought of you and Jimmy Woods and Christopher Walken hanging out there. It's like, here they come, walking down the street. They're the reed-thin, hyper-intensive guys. That is an unholy trio there, man.
Yeah.
Woods, Walken, and Weller. Who's the guru of weird there, Chris?
That's a real certifiable group.
Well, Chris did the show. Chris Walken did Saturday Night Live, and it was funny when I first met him during the week. I thought, wow, this guy is really mystical, and I couldn't get a line on him. But then if you kind of listen to him, it sounds somewhat like Burroughs. During the week, you would hear these acerbic little things come out of his mouth. He seemed to be such a funny guy.
He's probably maybe one of the 2 or 3 funniest guys I've ever known. He's very, very funny and very sort of subterranean about it. You know, you really don't know what he's saying for about 5 minutes. Guy's a stand-up comic.
Then it ties together. Yeah. Well, listen, we appreciate you coming on. It's nice to meet you, Peter. Take care. We'll be right back with actress Jennifer Tilly after this.